Hi, I'm Paul, the running shoe guru. This is Marathon Handbook, and this is our look at some of the best shoes to help you if you're suffering with plantar fasciitis. A little bit of a disclaimer, shall we say, if you are suffering from plantar fasciitis, it is always best to seek professional medical advice. They will be able to advise you specifically on treatment for the condition. Today we're looking at shoes that should help reduce the pressure and the strain on the plantar fascia tendon. Plantar fasciitis, what is it? Well, if you've got it, you'll certainly know about it. Stepping out of bed in the morning, you'll get a sharp pain under the heel, under the arch of your foot. And that's the plantar fascia tendon, the connective tissue and tendon from the heel into the forefoot. And it helps the overall structure of the foot, the arch. It kind of connects the heel and the forefoot, and it's a tight band of tissue, a tendon, that helps the foot stretch, but also helps the arch return to its arch shape so it's able to absorb impact when your foot strikes the ground. Now, what generally happens is that tendon becomes overstretched through time, through a variety of causes, and the overstretching of the tendon is what leads to pain, and it's particularly noticeable in the heel. If you have got it, it's generally at its worst when you get up in the morning after you've been asleep. Your foot's been plantar flexed when you've been lying in bed. It shortens the stretch on it, and as soon as you step out of the bed, you put the weight onto your foot, the tendon stretches, and that's where you feel the soreness. What kind of things can contribute to it in the first place? Well, it's an overuse type injury. It's additional strain on that tendon. General consensus of opinion will be excessive workload. First of all, if you are a little bit overweight, carrying a little bit of extra weight, then this isn't going to help. People talk about tightness in the calf muscle, in the soleus muscle, and into the Achilles tendon, which again, everything connects under the bottom of the heel into that tendon. All this connective tissue and tightness can lead to additional strain on the plantar fascia tendon. Research on exercises and trying to cure plantar fasciitis is a little bit sketchy, it's rather limited, and it's hard to find any kind of conclusive evidence. There are a couple of good studies that we're going to put links to in the description below, and they do talk about essentially strengthening the plantar fascia tendon. It has been commonly bandied about that applying ice and stretching the arch of the foot over a tennis ball can help, but ultimately this generally just leads to temporary relief from the pain. The plantar fascia tendon has overstretched in the first place. Rolling it over a tennis ball, applying ice, is just going to relieve the immediate pain. Stretching it by rolling over the tennis ball, again, you're stretching it a little bit more, so it increases circulation, reduces the soreness, but it doesn't actually cure the condition. And again, ice, temporary relief from the pain, but generally with plantar fasciitis, not a lot of inflammation. Walking around in flatter shoes, shoes without any support, also contributes to the strain on the tendon. If you walk around barefoot in your house, and particularly if you've got hard floors as opposed to carpet, additional strain on the plantar fascia tendon. Generally speaking, when it comes to footwear, shoes that elevate the heel a little bit and add additional support through the arch of the foot are the way to go. So we're going to look at 6 top recommendations in terms of running shoes to help with plantar fasciitis. It's worth noting that you don't really have to go overboard when it comes to the price. These are all kind of mid-range shoes, all very competitively priced, and all going to feature some of the elements that will help you when it comes to plantar fasciitis. First up is the Asics GT2000 version 11. Very popular shoe, been around for over 20 years. This is the V11, this is the 2023 model. In the UK it's £145 and in the US $140, so you're getting a good deal in the US. Weight 275 grams, approximately 9.7 ounces, and we've got an 8mm drop in the heel here. 23mm of stack in the heel, 15mm in the forefoot. So an 8mm stack again. That slightly higher stack. I mean, 8mm would still be considered on the higher side of things when you're looking at shoes like Hawkers that are around 4 or 5 millimeters. So reducing some of the strain on the tendon, on the Achilles, the calf and soleus muscle as well. Lots of cushioning, but most importantly, a support category shoe. And this adds a little bit of structure through the arch of the foot and prevents the arch flattening out too much and reduces the strain on the plantar fascia tendon. You have the DuraMax, the kind of the dual density section through the arch. Now it's interesting to note in the new Kayano shoe that we'll be reviewing in a week or so, they've done away with the posting through here, but for now they're posting a thermodense material through the arch, support through the arch, lots of cushioning, soft on the lateral side for the initial impact, and as the foot rolls in, provides some support. Now it is a shoe, generally speaking, for overpronators, but it's a very mild support type shoe, as are a lot of these shoes that we're going to be looking at, and it provides general support. It doesn't go overboard, so it certainly hits the spot a little bit in providing that support under the arch and reducing the strain on the heel, the Achilles, etc. Very popular shoe, been around a long time. You're going to be able to get on with this shoe really well. Nice engineered mesh upper, very comfortable, quite versatile, go anywhere with this type of shoe. The Asics GT2000 V11. Always a favourite, the Brooks Adrenaline GTS. This is the number 23, again the latest version for this year. It's purely coincidence that it's 2023 and we're on the 23rd version of the shoe. The GTS, the go-to support model, as Brooks would say. Brooks have several shoes and you could quite easily use any of them, but the Adrenaline is the mid-range shoe. It's a real workhorse, very good value. It's £135 in the UK, $140 in the US, 286 grams, approximately 10.1 ounces. Now the Adrenaline has a 10mm drop, so a little bit higher than the Asics. We're on 36mm of cushioning in the heel, 26 in the forefoot. So a little bit more cushioning overall as well. Soft plush cushioning, the way the support works in the Adrenaline comes from this stripy element, stripy section if you like, and these are called guide rails. Okay, so the Brooks guide rail system essentially is an extension of the cushioning that comes up around the side of the foot. So it's cupping the rear of the foot, the heel, and extending through the arch a little bit. Reduces overpronation again, a very mild support shoe and generally supportive all the way around the foot. So a real safe bet this one. If your foot rolls in or out, Adrenaline GTS is going to keep it steady. Support through the arch, again, providing support, reducing the strain on that plantar fascia tendon. Not a lot else to say about it except it's extremely popular, very good value, and people tend to put this shoe on and love it straight away from the word go. In terms of technical running and especially running stores, this is a big seller, and it's a big seller for a reason. It works, and it works for a lot of people. And when it comes to plantar fasciitis, it's going to be a safe bet. So you've got the guide rail system, keeping the foot steady, providing support all round, and soft plush cushioning that you can run mile after mile. Next up, the Puma Forever Run Nitro. Very interesting shoe. You've got a combination of materials with this shoe. So you've got compression molded EVA, but a nitrogen injected kind of inner core to the shoe. You can see it exposed through these apertures in the sole, and that creates a soft, bouncy, almost springy feel to the shoe. But the way it sits inside the overall shell, if you like, does provide structure in a similar way to the Adrenaline. Your foot sits into the shoe within it, and it becomes cupped within because it's kind of hollowed out, and you've got the soft lining in the center of the shoe, or the soft cushioning in there. You have got an external heel clip. It's just a very nice, good value, very versatile running shoe. It's very comfortable and springy. So if you like a softer feel, and some people may do, if they've got a lot of heel pain with the plantar fasciitis, maybe not going to be running straight away, but just going to be using a shoe for walking around in day-to-day use, then the Forever Run Nitro is a very soft, welcoming feel, and that softness will alleviate a little bit of the pain, shall we say. It's £140 in the UK, $160 in the US, 36mm stack of cushioning in the heel, dropping to 26 in the forefoot, so 10mm drop, again, reducing the strain on the tendon. 272 grams, approximately 9.6 ounces. Doesn't feel heavy at all. Feels nice and light on the foot, and that soft, welcoming, almost bouncy feel makes it feel a little bit lighter than it actually is. The Saucony Guide 16, latest edition of the shoe. The guide been around for quite a while now and is firmly established as a support type shoe. £130 in the UK, $160 in the US, 269 grams, 9.5 ounces, and we've got an 8mm drop in this shoe, as you'll find in a lot of Saucony models. 35mm of stack in the heel, dropping to 27mm in the forefoot. Support comes from the form of this plastic clip, shall we call it, on the medial side. Replaces what would traditionally be a medial support, a dual density material, a firmer section of foam inserted on the medial side of the shoe, and that provides a little bit of support, and again sits under the arch and provides that support and stabilizes the foot, stops the plantar fascia tendon stretching too much. Nice fit around the upper. You're able to get quite a strong lockdown. Again, these tapes are integrated into the upper of the shoe, so provide a lot of support. Shoe feels very light. It's the Saucony Power Run foam, so it has a nice responsive feel. The toe curl, if you like the rocker on this shoe, a little bit more exaggerated from some of the other shoes, but that helps. Again, when you're running a little bit quicker, it kind of rolls forward very nicely. But again, general all-round support, mid-range shoe, and does the job. The New Balance 860 V13, £140 in the UK, $140 in the US, 309 grams, 10.9 ounces, a little bit heavier than some of the others we've just looked at, but on the foot, you don't really notice it. Though these shoes are all in the same ballpark, they're all around 25-30 grams of one another. 10mm drop in the New Balance. We got a 27 stack in the heel, 17 in the forefoot, the New Balance Fresh Foam, and we do have this traditional medial post. You can just see it takes this line through the seam here, and that is a firmer section. As the foot pronates, rolls in, that does provide a little bit of support. And again, when bands are using a medial support like this, because that support is firmer, the rest of the soft fresh foam material sinks. So your foot sinks into this part of the shoe, shall we say, around here, and not there. So that does provide a little bit of extra structure under the arch, and again, stops that plantar fascia tendon stretching too much. And that's what all these shoes are trying to do. They're all mid-level support category shoes, but it's that strain on the tendon that we're trying to prevent here. So these shoes could all just as easily be recommended for overpronators, mild overpronators, or everyday workhorse shoes. The New Balance 860 absolutely does the job every time. And finally, my favourite pick of shoes to help people suffering with plantar fasciitis, the Wave Inspire from Mizuno. Anecdotally, this is the shoe that people often choose when I'm offering them a selection of footwear to help when they're suffering with the condition. Mizuno use their Wave technology. People give me the feedback, they say there's just something about the internal structure of the shoe coming from the Wave that kind of hits the spot. They put the foot in, they're suffering with some tenderness, some soreness in the heel and through the arch, and it just provides a nice structured shape internally and fit to alleviate some of the pressure. I guess it's really a case of trying all these shoes on for yourself and seeing which one you find the most comfortable. But people tell me, so it's anecdotal evidence, that this one hits the spot. The Inspire 19 is $140 and £140 in the UK, 303 grams, 10.7 ounces. So not too heavy at all. Again, same ballpark as all the other shoes. 37mm in the heel, 25 in the forefoot. So the highest stack at 12mm. And again, that stack is one of the two main things, the arch support and the stack in the heel or the drop, higher drop shoe, helping to alleviate the strain on the plantar fascia tendon. So in summary, when dealing with plantar fasciitis, first of all, seek professional medical help, whether that's from your doctor, GP, or physiotherapist. They will advise you on stretching and strengthening exercises to help with the condition. We're looking for shoes with an elevated heel, so a higher heel drop, whether that be 8, 10 or 12 millimeters. Avoid flatter shoes, zero drop shoes. They put more strain on the calf, the soleus and the Achilles. Everything's linked up in that kinetic chain, and again it puts strain on the plantar fascia tendon. So we want a slightly higher drop, and we want some support through the arch, some structure to reduce the strain on the tendon. These are just footwear suggestions. It's strengthening exercises that will contribute also to reducing and alleviating the pain and helping you become a stronger, better runner going forward, and hopefully the condition won't return. So proceed with caution, choose the footwear well, always try shoes on, get a fit and feel for them. If you've not worn a support category shoe before, these are all kind of general mild support shoes that offer some support through the arch. They may take a little bit of getting used to. Walk around in them. Don't walk around in flat shoes, don't walk around in slippers or indeed bare feet in the house. Get used to something with a little bit of support through the arch. Keep up the work on the exercises and strengthening that tendon. So good luck. Hope this is helpful. It's not professional medical advice, it's just general tips. All the very best to you. If you are suffering currently with plantar fasciitis, I do hope it clears up and you find this video useful. But for now, thank you for watching and we'll see you very soon.